Every single one of us arrives to the planet mostly a blank slate. You come in with, I believe, information from past lives, experiences from your lineage. You come in with some astrological limitations, right? All of us have different energies that are imprinted on us as we incarnate into a human body. So that means that all of us have different temperaments, different abilities to be flexible and shift different ways we process information. Some of us are more emotionally oriented than others. Some of us are more self-centered than others just because of our astrology. And so just remembering this, everybody comes in with a certain imprint as this like brand new soul. But then with that imprint that makes you an individual completely different than any other human on the planet, you arrive on the planet in a certain location that gives you limitations. You get limitations because of the resources that are available, because of the socioeconomic status of the literal family that you arrive to and the community that you're born into. And you arrive to maybe one, maybe two, maybe more than that, but you arrive to a handful of adults who really shape the way that you see the world. And depending on the adults that you arrive to, you see the world differently because that biology that you have that's making you want to fit in causes you to watch people who you really admire, people who you really look up to, and people who have power over you. You spend a lot of time paying attention to them because those are the ones that you've got to figure out how to integrate with. The people who have power over you usually will punish you if you don't listen to what they're saying. There's some sort of punishment there. So you're really paying attention to them because no one likes to be punished. And then the people that are really cool, that you really look up to, that you really connect with, you're paying attention to them because you want to be close to them. You want to be loved by them. You want to fit in with them. And so those are the two main ones that I think we really pay the most attention to. So when you think about your childhood and you think about the adults that you arrived to, I would include any teachers that really shaped you, any extended family members, any friends' parents, any friends that you had that were really influential. And when you sit and you really think about who were those people? What were their strengths? What were their limitations? Like when I look at them as a human being, I let them fall off any pedestals I've put them on, or maybe take them out of any bad person boxes that I've put them in. And I just really look at all of those people as people who have strengths and wounding, things that they're working on, beautiful parts about them. When you really sit and you kind of do an inventory, I would encourage all of you to do this if you really struggle to make sense of your childhood. It's like, who are those people? Who are the main players that you remember in your childhood? And like really try to do a 360-degree view of them if you can. If they were really awful to you and hard for you to be around, like what were their redeeming qualities? What can you see their wounding was? What were they really struggling to step into as a human being in their growth? When you go back and you start to look at all of these people that really played a role in your childhood and you kind of see like where their dysfunction was and how they treated you. And then you go, how do I want to be treated? How do I know I deserve to be treated? And you see the difference, the disparity there. I think this gives us an opportunity to really have compassion for like little kid us. No child on the planet arrives to a group of people who hold them perfectly in every moment and give them perfect support. Nobody does. And I would argue souls don't come to this plane to experience that. That's not why we're here. We're here to experience adversity so we can grow. And so when you look at those humans that you arrive to and you give them a 360-degree audit and you really look at who they were and you hold them in the totality of who they are, you take them out of the good and bad boxes that you may have put them in a little bit. It can really allow us to look at our kiddo and go, oh, sweetheart, you did your very best. That was really hard. You were given some programs that made you feel really small. You were given some belief systems that made you feel like you were not creative, like it was not okay to be yourself. And that didn't come from you, that came from these other people who were also having a hard time. And then when we remember that every single human person on the planet had that experience, they arrived to a group of people who couldn't hold them perfectly because again, that's part of what we all sign up for when we come here. It really allows us to look at any way that we've learned to cope with not feeling included, not feeling smart, not feeling loved, not having our needs met. It's like those are just things that we did to survive the things that we went through. And everybody does this in different ways. Everybody copes differently. So, why is this important? This means that all coping mechanisms, all of them that we have, while some of them cause pain to the people around us, they're just coping mechanisms for pain. Some people eat when they're feeling terrible about themselves, and that doesn't harm anybody else except for them, right? So we're like, that one's kind of benign. Some people are really mean to other people when they're having a hard time, and that one's hard because it causes pain for the people around them. But it's just a coping mechanism for not feeling enough or valued. Some people, on the other hand, are people pleasers. Like they will do everything to make sure that people know how worthy they are. They will try to prove their worth by acts of service or making sure that everybody is taken care of. But that's also a coping mechanism, and that's also coming from a place of pain. But it's one that's more widely accepted because it translates into helping others. And then on the other extreme, we've got people who are really violent, who really take out their pain on other people, and they control and manipulate and harm other human beings because they're coping with those feelings of disconnection, of feeling minimized or diminished or not important. And so when you step back and you really look at the world through this lens, every single human is just doing their best to navigate the world. And some people got coping mechanisms that create peace or just neutrality or only create self-harm. They don't harm the people around them. And so they're quieter. We don't notice them as much. Self-doubt is in that category. Yeah, like I was saying, medicating with food or alcohol or drugs are in that category. Medicating with exercise looks really good, right? Because people are like really fit and can have beautiful bodies, but it's coming from a place of really trying to prove that they're okay. Like that's one that can be kind of sneaky, but that can be coming from a place of pain. So when you step back and you look at all of the human being dysfunction that's out there and you just go, wow, all of that is coming from a place where that human is feeling really disconnected, small, minimized, marginalized, skipped over, not considered. It makes all human experiences that we have, all the behaviors, all the dysfunction, it gives me more room for it to go, wow, what brave humans to have gone through whatever they lived through in their childhood. All of it is just coming from a place of pain. From this lens, no human on the planet is a bad person. All humans on the planet are just navigating their pain differently. Do we want to be people who are creating pain for others? No, absolutely not. But is that also a part of being a person, accidentally causing pain for others? It is. That's a part of our experience. So I would argue that everybody that is here is trying to navigate their life by causing as little pain as possible for others and reducing our own pain that we feel. That's a part of what happens as we heal is our pain diminishes. Rather, the pain we cause ourselves diminishes. And hopefully we do cause less pain for other people, but I don't know that that ever goes away. Said a different way, the pain that was happening in our great, 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 great grandparents, they acted out that pain. Any pain they didn't heal, they then acted out on their kids without meaning to. This is not, well, some of them meant to, but a lot of them didn't. We subconsciously, accidentally hurt each other's feelings all of the time. And so they passed that down to their kids, and their kids did what they could to heal what they could of that. And then whatever was left over got passed down to the next generation and on down the line. And so as time has gone on, this is the evolution of human consciousness. We heal what we can in the generation that we are with the awareness that we have, and whatever is left over is passed down to the kids. This is a normal part of being a human being, but we've decided good human beings have behavior that looks perfect. And so if we don't have perfect behavior and we're showing up with some of the dysfunction that's left over from generations and generations of humans before us, we create this game where we're never enough. But the truth is, you have done so much during your life to already mitigate a lot of the pain that has been carried in your lineage for forever. And so when we just arrive and we go, wow, human, you are so brave to have incarnated into this lineage on this plane, and you're doing your very best to heal everything that came before you. And so, of course, you experience some pain from your parents and your society because you're here to help heal that. And so all of it is okay. And where you're at in your process, we're going to talk about this in a little bit, where you are in your process of healing is okay. And where they were at in their process of healing or lack of awareness is okay. All of it is part of what wakes up, continues to help our consciousness evolve. So when we make none of it a problem and we just go, yeah, my parents did some stuff that was really harmful or hurtful, physically or emotionally. But I'm sitting here in this moment, not physically being harmed and not mentally being harmed. I'm in a safe room sitting on a call. So that's not happening right now. If I can normalize that that happened and know that I'm safe in this moment, I can begin to show up for the pieces of me back there that got harmed. And I can heal those pieces back there that I couldn't heal at the time. But first, I've got to go, there's no problem with that. That's okay. I survived that. Thank God. Good human, you got through it. Your parents were not perfect. Nobody's parents were perfect. We can have compassion for them and go, that was really hard. What do I need to feel now? The truth is, all of us deserve to be honored from the very beginning, but we're not living in 5D on the earth yet. We're still in 3D where, adversity is a part of it. And so we've got to make peace with where we are in order to continue to move forward.